Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Edna White. I'm your host of Keeping It Real on Purpose. And today we have Tara Prater. See, audience? Well, my audience knows me. I almost want to mess everybody's name up.
Girl, you're fine.
And she is one of my first, an integration health practitioner. And today I just want to, welcome you to the show.
Thank
Welcome, welcome,
you. Thank
welcome.
you so much. I'm excited to be here.
I am excited to have you here, Tara. So tell us how you show up in the world.
So, I began coaching women through a faith-based approach back in 2020.
Okay.
Before that, I was a personal trainer and I coached a different program. And during the pandemic, of course, when everybody's lives felt like it was the end of the world, I could see all of my bad eating habits coming back. I think
Mhm.
Satan used that as a prime time to sneak back in habits that
Yeah.
resembled, thoughts of bulimia and things like that that I had struggled with in the past. And
Hmm.
so I just knew I felt God saying, you've tried all these other things, you've never tried me. And it was true. I had never used faith other than recovering
Right.
from childhood
Right.
sexual abuse and things like that in my counseling.
Right. Right.
I never used it in my nutrition, exercise, overall health program. And
Ooh,
so
that's
at
good.
that point, I decided to start creating holistic hormone or holistic health programming for women with a faith-based kind of twist. What does God
Right.
say about diet, fueling your body? What does he say about using exercise and moving your body?
Right.
If excess or not enough, both. And it just went deeper. The next year, I created the Overcoming Emotional Eating program, and it's a
Hmm.
very deep 8-week program that women step through each week a different topic to help them overcome emotional eating. Um,
Okay.
and in that same year, I was living just a very stressed out life, and was diagnosed at the end of that year with prediabetes and insulin resistance.
Well,
And I knew as a health coach, as an integrative health coach, that my two triggers were stress and not sleeping. It wasn't nutrition,
hmm.
it wasn't exercise or the lack
Right. Right.
of, but it was my lifestyle that I was just
Mm.
pushing myself to the brink of illness and disease.
Right.
And so I created another virtual program, which is the Holistic
Hmm.
Regulation Program. And we walk through what's called the de-stress protocol. It's
Okay.
diet the first week, exercise the second week, stress, toxins, rest, emotions, and then supplements. All of that impacts a woman's health. And so in today's world, a lot of doctors don't ask you about lifestyle when they're looking at your hormones. And
Mhm.
it's
Oh no, they don't.
no, I mean, and I
No, they
have
don't.
myself have tried, kind of the hormone supplement route, and it was horrible for me. It was
Yeah.
just absolutely a detriment to my hormones. So I created this approach. We do have a carb cycle that we look at because sometimes during the month you want to ramp up your carbs. Other times of the month, it's good to go lower a little bit. We
Hmm.
look at foods that specifically support your hormones because there's foods that will help you build estrogen. Or if you are already high in estrogen, like polycystic ovarian syndrome clients, they're already estrogen dominant. We want to take some of those foods out
Yeah,
instead
that's
of
good.
continuing to eat them.
That's
And then
good.
exercise. Research shows that for a lot of women, that if we're doing all of these really intensive workouts, big strength workouts, and things like that, we're actually tanking our hormones. We're actually causing more
Oh,
damage
that's good.
to women. And so we have a
Hmm.
rise and fall with my clients' menstrual cycles. So if
Hmm.
like 3 phases basically. And sometimes
Uh-huh.
we do hit, sometimes we do strength, and sometimes we just do active recovery like Pilates and yoga and take walks and things like that.
Right.
All a rhyme of reason of supporting and building those hormones that, we all need.
That's good. So yeah, because I know that hormones are very, very important.
Yes.
Going through my what is it called? Menopause.
Mhm.
I don't know why it's that, but okay, but
Fun
going through
times.
that, yeah, going through that, you know, um, you know, eating is very challenging. Eating foods is very challenging because I can tell, because I already have a restricted diet, gluten and no milk,
Oh,
and I choose no sugar. But
yeah.
just having that restriction, like those things, lifestyle changes for me, I find I can feel when something's not good for me. As soon as I eat it, I can just feel like, oh, this wasn't good for me. And I was like, okay, that goes. It's like, so I know how important hormones are. I know how important food is for hormones.
Yeah.
Share with my audience, how, yeah, you shared a little bit about the holistic hormone regulation,
Mhm.
but share what you would go through with someone, let's just say for someone like me that hasn't eating, all those little limiting things with
Right.
eating.
So,
Hmm.
for example, like I have a client right now, the needle just isn't moving. She's been with me for several weeks, and I mean, she is a person that is to the T, doing every single thing
Right,
that
right,
should push the needle in the direction that she wants it to. And so,
right.
a holistic part of that is okay, is let's think outside the box. What are other things that impact a woman's hormones? And
Mhm.
so, one of the things we started talking about in the last couple of weeks is the importance of detoxing. So, we know
Mm,
environment, our foods, the products we use as women,
yeah,
cleaning supplies, is everything. Toxins are everywhere. And
yeah,
for a lot of women, do not get flushed out of the body like they should because one, we don't support our liver properly. We really need a
right,
healthy liver because it's a
right,
filter.
right.
And so we talked about that. Okay, what are some things that we can do to support your liver on a daily basis? So she got a castrol pack. She's wearing that nightly, which is going to help to support the liver in the detoxing. We have a supplement that she can use. And then we started looking at, okay, what are some quarterly and yearly like systematic detoxes that she really needs to do. And so she just did
Okay.
7-day liver gut detox, which it's recommended every quarter. Again, we got to really flush the things out because estrogen is
Yeah.
stored in the liver, it's stored in your
Oh,
blood,
wow.
fat
Okay.
cells. And so if we're not detoxing properly, if we're not getting it out, it's just storing and causing all of these problems.
Uh,
And doctors don't think about that. They just think about, oh, you're estrogen dominant. You've got this, you've got,
mhm,
that, basically sometimes lump it. You can't do anything with it. And that's really
right.
not the, so that was one thing we did was start her on a liver gut detox. The next thing she's going to do is a 30-day heavy metal detox because heavy
Hmm.
metals are everywhere. They're in our water, they're in our
Yeah,
air,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And that's a detox that women should do yearly. Um,
Hmm.
and both of all the detoxes that I recommend are very gentle. It's not something like you got to stay home 24/7.
Yeah, I was going to ask. That was my next question.
Go
It's like, do
anywhere.
you have
No,
to stay home?
no, these are, you
Okay.
might notice that you urinate a little bit more, but you're taking in a lot more water. And so that's
Right.
basically the reason with that. So those are the
Okay.
things right now that I'm looking at her with. So let's start really working on the detox part. Um,
Hmm.
we also look at what is your stress level. So for me, stress was huge, and
Yeah.
so if I have a woman that lives a very busy, stressed out life, I'll
Hmm.
often recommend let's test your cortisol levels. And so cortisol
Oh, that's good.
hormone that can wreak havoc on your whole body, on thyroid,
Wow.
on your heart, on your lungs, on your gut, literally everything. So if you typically a healthy woman, cortisol should be its highest in the morning and it should start ramping down in the evening and then be at its lowest at night. And I often find my women are typically actually the opposite. They're low in the
Right.
they can't get up and go. They're going to rely on that coffee to get them going
Hmm.
for the
Hmm.
day. And then it's ramping up because of stress, or maybe they are really using caffeine to keep them going throughout the day. And so it's
Right.
keeping that cortisol high, which then impacts your sleep because you can't sleep
Yeah.
with high cortisol
Yeah.
level. So I've got a lady now that, um, she's um, just not hungry. She's like, I
Hmm.
literally go all day. I'm not hungry at all. And I was like, she lives a very stressed out life. So that was what I recommended for her. I was like, I want you to do self-care. That is like a must for her. We're not even thinking about
Hmm.
right now nutrition and exercise. I'm looking at, okay, let's get you out of this fight or flight 24/7. Let's take
Hmm.
cortisol because high cortisol levels can make you not hungry. and then you're not getting the nutrition that your body needs. So if we can get that
Yeah.
cortisol, in its regular rhythm, she's probably going to notice that she's going to feel better and that she's going to be hungrier. She's going to start fueling her body the way God
Right.
designed it. So
Right.
it's a
So
puzzle. Everybody's different.
yeah, I was gonna say it's such a puzzle. So not eating is an issue for your
Yes.
body. So it's an issue.
Yes.
So but we're not told that on a general basis. It's
Right.
like if you skip a meal, you don't eat, you start to lose weight. But I've heard from think a dietitian, maybe a nutritionist, that your body needs, like you said, fuel
Yeah.
to burn things. So tell me what happens when you don't eat with your
Okay.
body.
So I have a lady right now that is actually probably not eating as much as a toddler should eat. And
Ooh,
so, yeah, she's another lady that stays super, super busy. She has her own
right.
business. She's a pastor's wife, so she's super busy all the time. And sometimes she don't even think to eat until 3 o'clock. And I was like, you've got to eat. Okay. So when you don't eat, your body is in starvation mode. And so what
Okay.
it is doing is it is preserving brain, heart, lungs, sometimes even the stomach and gut go because then you start having gut and stomach issues and things like that. So it's trying to preserve the bare minimum just to keep you alive. So out goes the window for hormones, out goes weight loss because it's trying to hold on and conserve everything that it has.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and so for her, like, yes, I would love to see her eating 1,700, 1,800 calories a day,
Right.
basic, honestly, minimum.
Mhm.
Um, but for her, we are like inching up 50 calories like a week. Okay, this week we're going to add 50 more calories because if we go really fast too far,
Right.
then your body doesn't know what to do with it and it's just going to hold it. So we have to really slowly look at that. So I always have my ladies the very first week just start to track their nutrition. I was like, I want the
Mhm.
good, bad, and the ugly so that we can get a baseline of what is
Mhm.
your daily caloric intake, and I find
Mhm.
women often are very, if they do eat okay calories, they're very
Mhm.
carb heavy,
Mhm.
very few protein. And so we've
Mhm.
really got to work on getting the protein in as well, especially as we age for our
Right.
bones, for our muscles and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
we've got to eat.
Okay.
I mean, that's how
Yeah, you
God
gotta eat.
designed
Okay.
it.
Well, I wanna say this because you talked about faith-based, and I know some of the fundamentals of religion, call on fasting, and one of my biggest problems is uh, um, when I was in the church itself and following those fundamental rules, part of it was fasting, long periods of time.
Yeah.
And I started developing stomach issues like
Mhm.
after that.
Yeah.
Um, Tell us about how to factor in the fasting the
Mhm.
right way, if there is a right way,
Yes. So
into if you have a
again,
religious,
yeah.
situation.
Everybody's different. And so in my program, I don't specifically mention fasting for the religious or,
Okay.
like but I do agree, like if you feel called, like you are trying to figure out a problem or
Right.
have something you really want to take to God. Yes, I do believe fasting I've seen it in my own family. My mom has,
Mhm.
utilized it and it's been a blessing. But with hormones, again, just like there's a carb cycle and there's a workout cycle that supports your hormones, we also talk about there's certain times of the month that you want to fast shorter periods of time. And I only encourage
Ah,
the ladies to do 12 hours because your body's getting ready to have its period basically. And so that week before your
wow.
body
That's
is
very good.
already stressed, we
Yeah.
don't want to add any more stress to that. So, but then there's other times that if you want to do a 24-hour fast, or if you want to fluctuate and do 13, 17, 15, hours,
Right.
um, that it's safe to do. And again, it depends on my women. If I have somebody that's
Mhm.
diabetic or has health
Right.
issues, that's something we want to do gradually and see how
Right.
the body, does it. I never tell a lady, if you've never fasted, oh, well, today you're going to fast 18 hours because
Right.
maybe passed out on the floor. The
Right.
big thing with fasting is if you do those longer fasts, you want to make sure the day before that you are really fueling your body. So if you've had a
Okay.
day, say I'm gonna fast longer. Tomorrow's gonna be my 24-hour fast. You can safely do
Gotcha.
that once a month at a certain period in the month. I want to make sure I'm getting all of my calories, all of my protein, good carbs, good fats the day before, because that's what's going to fuel
That's
that
good.
fast.
That's
And so
good.
a lot of women, they'll jump in and try to do these 18, 24-hour fast, and they're just dying. They're starving. They're weak.
Right,
They're
right,
headaches. I was like, well, what did you eat the day before? You know,
right.
and they don't know that piece. So again, it's a cycle for your hormones. Sometimes of the month it's
Mhm.
great to fast longer. But then other times you want to step back and not do as
Oh,
long.
that's really good. You are giving the audience really good information. I will tell you that a lot of my listeners are from fundamental religion, and I respect everybody's place in their religious area
Mhm.
in their lives. But it's important. You broke it down, and that's terrific. I really needed to hear that, and my audience need to hear that.
Yes.
So fasting and fueling is great. It's like I thought about the Fast and the Furious when you said that. I was like, oh, this is really good.
I
So
like that. I
good,
have to
so
put that on a
good.
t-shirt. Fast and fuel.
Yes, that is so good. I really love that. I really love that you broke that down. Now for women, that are on medications and things like that, we talked about that, right? You said things like that. So how do we begin to regulate when it comes down, because the doctors are not going to do it, and could you give us some pointers of we have, I'll just say maybe some cholesterol medication and high blood pressure medication. How do we begin to think about this holistically
Mhm.
and move forward? How do
And
we do
so
that?
actually, excuse me, with the prediabetes, often women have high cholesterol. I had never dealt with high cholesterol in my life, and that was one thing that came with the prediabetes,
Yes.
insulin resistance. So
Yes.
couple of things, lifestyle is huge. So I would honestly recommend anyone, as long as your doctor is okay. Now, I've had a couple of ladies that maybe had a seizure disorder that their doctors didn't
Hmm.
want a detox medicine because it
Right,
had like
right,
milk
right.
thistle and things. So always check with your physician. I have a client now that has some cardiology issues. So I gave her the
Hmm.
ingredients. I'm like, check with your doctor, make sure it's not going to interfere with anything. But honestly, the first thing that I would start with, and that's because this is what I started with, because you've really got to clean your body out for
Hmm.
it to heal. So I would
Right.
recommend, even if you have the cholesterol, if you have, the high blood pressure, do these holistic things. Look at detoxing. How can you systematically and routinely detox your body safely?
Right.
And I provide all of that within my program. Like these are the ones that I've used. It doesn't mean that it's exclusive, but I
Right.
know they work and that they're safe and they're tested and things like that.
Right.
Um, but I would do that to start cleaning out your body regularly.
Hmm.
Whole foods is huge, just like, with the sugar and the gluten and all of those things. I had a lady that super, super thin lady would have never have known, but she had horribly high cholesterol and high blood pressure. And all we did was these holistic elements. And she no longer is on any medications. Everything is
Wow, that's
normal.
great. That's great.
So,
That's
working
great.
on her stress, she had to learn to make some good boundaries with people that she needed boundaries
Mhm.
with. So those
Absolutely.
all the things, we talk about that in the emotions week. If you can't get away from people because of work or family, like how can you internally work on that so that it doesn't
Yeah.
affect your health? Um,
Mhm.
so detoxing, making sure that you're resting well, making sure
Oh,
that you're
okay.
sleeping. If you're not, we work on that as well. Um, Again, whole foods. Let's look at healthy foods, healthy oils. We want to put away the canola oil, the vegetable oil.
Yeah.
We want to do, all the healthy oils. Omega-3 supplement, if women are not taking it, I do
Mm.
recommend an omega-3 because
Right.
a lot of times we're high in omega-6 and we're low in omega-3. And so we need that
Okay.
balance. Um,
Okay.
there are holistic supplements. One is called berberine. It's
Mhm. I've
B-R-R-I.
heard that one. That name, I've heard it.
It can help with that. And then I always slaughter this name. Myo inositol, IN. Inositol, Insotol. It's I can get it to you. It's
Okay.
MYO and then Inositol or something like that. If you Google it, I'm
Okay.
sure it will come up. But that's
Mhm.
another one that I took. I took both of those kind of short
Mm.
term. AMLA, or is it AMLA or AL? AMLA, AMLA. It's a berry that is used over in Eastern medicine. Um,
Yeah.
and I took that for a while. That is good for cholesterol and blood sugar. So there's a lot of natural
Yeah.
supplements because I know a lot of people, the cholesterol medicines can come with so many side effects.
Yeah. Yeah.
That there's a lot of holistic kind of natural supplements as long as your doctor's
Mhm.
with it, obviously.
Yeah.
That's good but a lot of it's lifestyle. Let's start moving if you're not moving your
Yeah.
body. Um, let's start with steps. I always encourage my ladies, if you're not a mover and a shaker, let's just start with getting extra steps in. And then we start
Right.
with body weight exercises. Okay. Are we doing
Mhm. Mhm.
that? Let's maybe do a little bit of cardio if you can. And then we just start building our program from there. Um,
Right.
but it all has to,
Works
come
together.
together. Yeah. But I would
Mm.
definitely detoxing, I think, is so huge and people just don't know about it and don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I think we when we talk about detoxing and that we normally hear is that you have to detox your colon. I
right.
think everyone
Yeah.
starts there.
Scary
So
and
yeah,
yucky.
they start there.
Yeah.
They get rid of everything that's clear that out, and I
Yeah.
think everybody starts there, and they think that's a detox. But I know there's also, like you said, a liver detox.
Never.
I know that
Huge.
liver is very important because it does filter things through. Um, is there a recommendation for liver, or is that something that because I know the doctors are not going to mention it, and I
Yeah.
know there's
Yeah.
so many commercials out there that just I don't trust any of the commercials either. So
I agree. I agree. Yes. So I use a Castrol pack every night.
mhm.
And this is stuff like if your viewers, I'll give my website later, they can always use
Okay, yeah, would you do that?
the contact me button. And if they just want to say, hey, what's recommended supplements or detoxes, they can email
Okay,
me and I'll be
okay,
glad
that's
to get that to you.
perfect.
But I use
Yeah.
a Castrol pack every night and I put it right
Mhm.
over my liver. And it does help detox your gut as well.
Mhm.
But my ladies that use it, they use it religiously. They absolutely love it. They find PMS gets better, bloating gets better, sleep gets better. So that's one daily support. There's some things that are daily, and then
What's
there's
a
some.
Castro pack, if you don't mind me
So it's
asking?
just it's kind of like bean shaped, and it's just like almost like sheepskin. This little, and then you put castor oil on it and you put it right
Ah,
over your liver. And I just wrap it around
oh,
me. I put like an old t-shirt on and I just sleep in it. And so
really?
every night
Never heard that before in my life. That's
it's
that's good
the
information.
best. I love it. I love it. And I can tell if I go, sometimes I'll go a few weeks and not use it. And then when I put it back on, I'm like, oh, I have the best night's sleep and I wake up and I'm not bloated at all. And um,
Right,
yeah, it's really nice.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
So
that's good
that's
to
a
know.
daily. Yes, that's a daily support. There's also a oh, my brain just went dead. Couple of daily like supplements. One is
Right,
an avocado based supplement. And again, I can
okay.
give information if they want
Yes,
it,
yes.
links and stuff like that. And then I do the quarterly liver gut detox. I do the yearly heavy metal. And then on a yearly basis as well, they recommend doing a mold and then a parasite detox as well.
Ooh,
Those are, really get deep and stuff.
yeah.
And
Ooh,
my
that's really
doctor,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It,
that's really
it's
good.
interesting.
Parasite. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, the first time you told me something about the metal. I've never heard that one.
Heavy
Never
metal.
heard that one at all.
Yes. So
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say just a lot of our products have aluminum in it. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
excuse me, so
Mhm.
sorry. Where I live, we have a lot of power plants, and so
Gotcha.
we're breathing it in constantly. It's really
Okay, okay.
no. You may have it in your water. Some people can smell the chlorine. Like right now, I can smell
Yeah.
water and stuff like that. And so all of that builds up in our body and our tissue. It affects our brain. It causes Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
but it also impacts your hormones as well. And so it's
Ooh,
important. And I just do it yearly. The only time I've done it twice in a year was we spent a week at a vacation home that the pipes must have been super old and the water smelled like a copper penny. And
oh,
so I felt like metal was all over me, you know. So my daughter and I came home and we're like, we're going to do that again because
wow.
but usually most
Yeah.
of them are yearly, except for those few things that are, quarterly
Yeah.
and do a daily support.
Okay. 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 That's good. That's good information. How can people get in touch with you again?
Yes.
No, you didn't say again, but just tell us now.
Yeah. So my website is www.fueledbygodcoaching.com. And when you come up to that, there is a pop-up that will give you, if you want to put your name and email in it, that'll actually give you the recommended hormone labs that I recommend all of my women. I recommend every 6 months because those holistic issues can impact your hormones. You may be
Mm,
very stressed out right now, so your hormones are going to
yeah.
look this one
It's
way and
really
then
good.
they're going to be different. And so it really is just a balancing act throughout the year. But when you come up to that, you're going to see I also have a Fueled by God coach certification program. So I'm excited in this coming year to be able to hopefully raise up other women to coach these two programs with me. So that
Wonderful.
comes up, but then you can go to the contact me button and just send me an email. And then I will get back to you. And then there's also information about my programming programs that I offer. And I'm currently offering kind of a special deal, a 6-month coaching package that's
Hmm.
not on my website. So if they're interested in knowing about that, you get both of the programs at 6 months and it's just $150 a month. So you get both of the programs, scripture, worship songs, exercise, meal plans,
Oh, that's
coaching.
beautiful.
So it's
That's
it's a
really
good bang for
beautiful.
your buck.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. It's a great investment and a gift for yourself. So,
Absolutely.
Tara is in the gift of experience. That's what that
Yeah.
is. So
We
we
got
thank you
lots of
for that. Thank you for that. Thank you, thank you,
thank
thank
you.
you. What's the last words you can give to my audience to encourage them into the 2024 year?
So I think for women, it is super, like we know our bodies. We know if something's off. And so doctors, even if you are regularly doing your labs, you can be within a normal range, but maybe your range is low and if you don't feel right. And so I really encourage women not to just stop if their doctor says everything's normal, this is just life, you're just going to have to deal with it because we really don't,
Oh,
you know.
that's
And
good.
so to keep searching, keep, looking, look outside the box like these holistic, you know, um,
Yes.
strategies because a lot of times they just want to add another pill, add another pill, add another pill, and then you've got side
Yes.
effects of all of those pills. So
Yeah.
keep being diligent, keep fighting for yourself, keep fighting for your health because you know your body.
Yeah. Awesome. That is some
Thank
awesome
you.
information. Audience, I know that you have questions because I have questions,
Yeah.
but I'm going to replay this and I'm going to give her a call and I'm going to get you on that mailing list. You do the same and get the education and get the holistic hormone regulation help that Tara can give. So this brings us to the end of our show, but we want to thank you all because you could be anywhere else, but you're here with us today. This is Edna White and my esteemed guest, Tara Prater, saying goodbye for now.
Thank you.